I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
Yeah. Welcome to Ridealong Live for today. Good evening. Danny, Pascal. See who's first on the inside. Let me see who's first in on the inside. Peace-side. How you doing, Peace-side? Peace-side, I hope you got over that situation that you had expressed to us the other day. I hope everything's sorted out with that, eh? Peace-side. Big up yourself. Who else? Shirley Ann. Big up yourself, Shirley Ann. As you guys come and go ahead and show up the program, today we have a very interesting engagement for you. This is an engagement, an opportunity to listen and speak and just voice your opinion. Because we have the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Honorable, my good friend, Miss Honorable Ron Redhead is here with us. Certainly not the first time on the program, but first time since elected, right? MP, constituent of St. George, Northeast. Yeah, Ron Redhead is on with us. And we're going to be chatting with Ron Redhead. Share the thing, man. Danny Pascal, thank you so much. Tommy, big up yourself. Big up Heavenly Child, Sha. Everybody share. Listen, if you share already, share the thing again. If you share already, share it again. Big up to the folks in Willis. If you know anybody in Boca, Willis, that area up there, tell them the boy is here. The minister is here. Yes. Roxy Charles, how you doing? Big up yourself. Tag somebody in Willis. Tag somebody in the Northeast. Yes, interesting stuff. Hello, Eileen. Big up yourself. Thank you so much. Big up. Yeah, Tommy Pascal. Salutation, my brother. Big up yourself. Listen, I don't want to start until everybody share, you know. I don't want to start. I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, they miss out something. They didn't get certain information. No. I want everybody to tag a friend right now. Humble Tasha, big up yourself. Thank you so much. Before we go any further, guys, I must also say that this program is brought to you with the kind compliments of the National Lottery Authority, supporting sports, culture, and nation building. And tomorrow, guys, tomorrow, if you guys heard about the Multi-X is an opportunity to double, quadruple, even 5 times the total amount. Multi-X, guys, from the NLA. So when you're going to buy, to play, just ask them for the Multi-X add-on, right? Just ask for the Multi-X add-on. It's not a new game, it's an add-on. Okay? Trust me, you go thank me later, you know. Thank me later. and listen, if a little friend and thing and you want to buy a little ticket for me, you know, play away, you know, just buy a ticket for me and hold it for me, all right? And just make sure you get the Multi-X option because, you know, things sort out. Sort out nice. All right, guys. Also, I got to tell you guys real quick, Spice Mass is slowly approaching, and we're getting ready for Jab in Color. Of course, amazing colors, Jab in Color. This year, we're doing a Jab band, guys, a Jab band. And we want to see you guys a part of this amazing experience. We have Classy Jab, we have Sassy Jab, and we have Jab We Say. It's an organized, all-inclusive Jab section for Spice Mass. Thing mad. Jab breakfast and all. It'll be real nice. Spice Mass. Also, Spice Mass launching in New York. I hope you guys preparing for that. A lot we're going to be talking about. Real vibes in New York City. And of course, Monday Night Mass with amazing colors. Yes. And guys, all of the things that I spoke about today, in the week, I'm going to be giving you guys some free passes, free tickets to be a part of all these amazing events. Okay. What Maria say? I hope you get a chance. Yeah, it's wonderful outside. It's absolutely wonderful. All right, guys, let's go into it. All who come in after, they go catch up after the fact. Because look who we have here with us. The Honorable Minister himself, the man from the Northeast, my good friend, Honorable Ron Redhead. How you doing, sir?
Well, Junior, not too bad. Just continuing to enjoy the sports season. Doing pretty okay. And certainly good afternoon to all the listeners, both locally and also those in the diaspora.
Nice. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. 'Cause I know you're busy. You have a lot to do. The sports. We have character. I saw you, today, making those announcements. So I know you have a lot to do, but you took the time to come here and chat with us, and it's to be appreciated. Yes. So we'll go right into it. Because we have a lot to discuss. Mm-hmm. First, the last time we spoke, you were in campaign mode. So you were, getting ready, campaigning and stuff like that. Now you actually, you actually in the position where you lead it, you're the minister, you're the MP of that area. What's the difference between that tell us about that transition. Not the difference, but tell us about that transition.
Well, I don't think the transition has been that much different from Ron Redhead in the days of the Senate, Ron Redhead as candidate for the NDC, and Ron Redhead as MP. I would say that the task certainly has gotten a bit more demanding in terms of the hours, in terms of the efforts and energy that is required to do the work. But nothing much has changed, certainly on my part. As I mentioned, it's just more work.
Yeah, I could only imagine, man. And I told Honorable Andy Williams the other day, when he was on the program, I say, make sure you still have to take your rest, because as demanding as it is, every minute you turn your phone ringing, and when you're in this position, it's all about people. So you want to help the people, but you have to take your rest, you have to take your vitamins, you still have to upkeep your own
Yes,
health.
Yes.
It's important.
That's true. That's something that I know many colleagues in the cabinet would agree. Despite we are going out there, we are doing, but in terms of our own little health, in terms of resting, that's something that we are not doing enough of, certainly as a cabinet, but we are really willing to serve and doing to the best of our ability.
All right, nice. All right, Honorable Ron Redhead, let's first start on you, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture. We'll start with youths, right? We'll start with youths. Tell us about some new plans that are initiated to assist with the youths of today. We're seeing so many different acts of violence. We see little petty crimes here. We see just the other day we saw a shooting in Guave, and we're hearing a lot about the young people being fantasizing about firearms. What is being done to help the youth of today? Those youth that feel like they don't have anything to do and they're on the sideline.
Right. Well, first off, I think we have come a very long way in the ministry to put everything back as to how a Ministry of Youth ought to be run. We are getting ready to announce the youth coordinator, the assistant youth coordinator, the new ones, and also a new manager for the Imani program. We are in a position now to safely say that following several assessments, we now actually have a clear picture as to the structure that was built at the Ministry of Youth. And it was very complex, Junior.
Mhm.
It took us a great time to understand what was going on. Every time we thought that, well, we have this person, then we understand that this other person is responsible for this, etc., etc. But I think we're now in a position to do that. The primary concern that face the young people today is the question of jobs.
Right.
And as a spin off to not having a job, the question of crime and violence, the question of idleness in society, it emerges. So, what we are looking to do, we have just recently launched with the USAID partnership the three programs that we believe can help to target and tackle the question of young people who are unskilled, unemployed, and frustrated.
Yes.
So, for example, at the Ministry of Youth, you will have the YRE program. We are now in its early stages to prepare how that program will roll out. But this is a direct program that targets the issues that young people are facing and targets young people who are vulnerable in those positions, and quite different to what we had. Now, what we had was not bad, but it was not working. So things like the money, etc., in terms of the structure that was built up, it was not solving problems, but more so creating a lot more. So we are in the very early
When you
stages.
say creating more, so what do you mean?
Okay, so I'll give you a very clear example with the money program.
Right.
It will have young people training in perpetuality,
Right.
so that you're there for an undisclosed amount of time. You
Mhm.
have no increase in wages. You are still paid the 700 plus, and a deduction is made for NIS, etc. You have no upward mobility. You are performing duties that should be normally performed by public officers, let's say, for example, in public service,
Uh-huh.
but you do not have no way or channel to be promoted, etc., because you're not a part of the system. And then you have no pension. So the majority of the 40 plus group of young people under the Imani program, they have since come to that realization that, look, this thing is not leading them anywhere. They have given it their all, and they
Mhm.
are on the program multiple years now and not going anywhere. So we have looked at a very serious element, which is the transition to
Right.
get the young people into a state of productivity rather than just training for life. That is something certainly that we have since changed, and we are getting ready to announce in a big way the transition process. We have completed at least 2, 3 meetings with NTA to form up the strategy. We do have a document as to how that transition is going to roll out, and we are in the stages of finally preparing that to roll that out.
So how in the previous format, how were
Mhm.
the Imani individual? How was that person? How did they graduate or move into a different field? What was the process set up for them?
Yeah. Well, the previous structure had placement officer, not placement, but transition officers, and had somewhat of a scope to engage private sector to keep the young people.
Mhm.
But even in that method, so while a very small percentage of young people got permanent jobs in the private sector, in the public service, the
Uh-huh.
government did absolutely nothing to transition the very young people into permanency or into a state of, let's say, in the unestablished bracket. So you have in the public service currently established, unestablished, and Imani training.
Right.
So the Imani trainees have been performing duties of standards of public servants, but is not being paid as a public servant, is not entitled to public service benefits or public servants benefits, and essentially they remain the salary that they are getting or stipend remain the same throughout. Right? You have instances where people can decide if somebody gets 1,200 as opposed to 700, etc. But that is something certainly that is not conducive for upward mobility and development. So, in a nutshell, that was one of the major problems with the program. Now, the
Right.
program, in terms of training, there's no issues there because the training is not being done by the ministry itself.
Mhm.
You have service providers who are contracted through the NTA, etc. So the training is not being done by the ministry itself. But then again, the ministry had no clear objective to do in terms of the whole question of evaluating and monitoring the program to make sure that it's actually achieving its objectives. So we are going to transition the young people. It's going to entail a process of, I don't want to use the word regularization,
Right.
but it's going to entail a process of them getting accepted into the formal setup for a work or a job. So you're no longer going to be called an Imani trainee. If you're performing clerical services, you're a clerk, typist, whatever it is. That is your position, as opposed to Imani trainee. And then those who went through the program, went through all the batches, but is still suffering from qualification, so to speak. They may not have went to secondary school and wants to pursue something of a higher level, let's say at a tertiary level, TAM, CC, etc. The program in its transitionary process will assist and provide in that regard. So you will be placed into the formal education service, not only the CVQ, but get, let's say, a TAM-CC associate degree, an SGU degree, etc. And the end of that is that once you complete your degree, you now will go on your own volition to look for work because you're now qualified, etc. So we're removing you off the program. So you can't just be receiving a stipend and your social status is not going anywhere. So we are doing that. So we have looked at the numbers and is preparing heavily for that. This year in particular, needed for us to be able to get the full assessment and to have the budget set up for next year so that we can begin the transitionary process. But that is the basis to what we face now. So we have not let go any Imani training.
That was going to be my next question. What happened to the Imani training during that transition
they are
period?
still currently finishing and completing the various batches that they set out to complete under the former administration. So we've not interfered with them. We have since at least gotten some of the Imani trainees into the public service regularized. Let's say a clerk to a principal, etc., things like that. So we have done that so far. So what we want to continue to do now is to say that where there may be vacant, unestablished positions in the public service and established positions in the public service, Imani trainees, based on their performance or an appraisal, will be given some kind of opportunity to hold the position so they can actually have a real job, get an increase in salary, and earn an actual salary rather than the stipend of the $600 or $700, which is woefully inadequate for them to live. And so
I know we're speaking about employment, but was anything in place to advance entrepreneurs, people who have that entrepreneurial spirit? Because it's not about finding a job. In a lot of cases, I say that if we could advance that, it serves the nation better. What's being done now? What's being done then to what
is being done now? So in our assessments thus far, the youth biz component that the previous administration had, we're going to keep that and see how we can bolster that. But in addition to that, what we are going to come with for next year is the question of institutionalizing junior achievers. Junior achievers was a project, so to speak. It served its particular time, but we now want to bring that back into the system and service as an institutionalized program for young people at the secondary school levels. And let me tell you what that will do. The old mindset that every young person is just earning a degree so that they could go work for someone is what we are seeking to target in that method. And similar to the WIRE program, what we are using is data to make decisions. So we see a large portion of our people in some instances unemployed, not because they not because they do not have qualifications, but it's because they can't find a job. And the question of scarcity of jobs. So their best bet is to create a business.
Yes.
So what we are looking to do now is to say that we want to condition the minds at a younger age to understand that they need to be entrepreneurship oriented and minded so that they can themselves eliminate the question of unemployment and underemployment, which a lot of young people are suffering with. So it has been a very deliberate attempt to get a full assessment, and also to say that we are acquiring data so that we could be able to apply the necessary policy decisions to solve problems rather than just put a plaster over the wound.
Absolutely. You know, I love the fact that you're talking about entrepreneurship because I'm so big on that. I'm so big on that, that actually teaching those youths to develop their skill, right? And so they could employ themselves and employ others. And that all rings well for the nation when you have that type of initiative. So applaud the initiative for entrepreneurship. I know the CES program
Yeah,
attempted to give funds to these young people. It's a great venture. It's an
yeah,
absolute great venture. So
definitely.
we could safely say that within a space of what,
9 months.
3 months? How long again would we start seeing the new rollout
Oh,
of the money?
roll out. I wouldn't want to announce the deadline, but I would safely say in 4 months' time, we can see that officially being
Right.
announced to roll out the transition process of the new Imani program and to send it essentially over to the NTA to run. So in future, what is going to happen is that in an organized fashion, rather than having the Ministry of Youth bogged down with a lot of temporary positions,
Right.
but in an organized fashion, in a very sophisticated and professional way, the Ministry and Department of Youth is going to up its capacity so that it could actually be delivering programs that are targeting problems and issues and solving it, rather than just in a blanket way providing training for young people, which is not bringing them the benefit to what they originally thought it would bring. The other element we are looking at is the question of CVQ and its worth in the job market. I think government will be demonstrating in time to come that we are serious in terms of giving consideration to young people who have completed CVQs and went through enormous amount of time, energy, etc., completing those CVQs to actually give them a job on that basis, even though they may not have an associate degree or a bachelor's first degree. So this is something that we have also discussed, and the Minister of Education is keen on ensuring that the quality of education should not only be looked at from the book sense, but to ensure that from a skills standpoint, we give some prominence to young people who are acquiring skilled degrees so that they can get jobs on those bases as well, and not just from an academic standpoint in the usual traditional way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Music to my ear. Guys, we open up the phone line because this is not only my conversation. I want you guys to be a part of it as well. So from the beginning of the program, we have the phone line. They open. If you have any questions as it relates to youth, give us a call. This is the phone number on there. You could call us on WhatsApp or you could call us directly. Again, the number is 718-701-5720. And the folks in Willis, guys, continue to tag the folks in Willis because I know they have been send me questions privately, but I want them to publicly ask the questions to the MP. All right. Again, number 718-701-5720. All right. So the new Imani program, looking to roll out new initiative, new plans. The idea of having entrepreneurs, empowering people in entrepreneurship. I love that. What about the guys who hanging around on the block, the youths that just hanging around on the block? Is there a targeted effort to kind of get them into something, whether it's sports or just get them off of the block? Has there been any targeted effort to help them?
So yes, Junior, correct. That's part of the problem. The way the government see the situation is that there are young people who are unemployed, underemployed, and then unemployable. The
Right.
first instance is to get the young men in particular who are unskilled, unemployable on the block and who are just basically frustrated, get them up to a standard and level of employability.
Yes.
And this goes back to the point of if they complete the CVQ, their jobs should be almost in a sense guaranteed from a public and private sector if it is only skills they have acquired and can acquire in this short space of time. The majority of them, to be very honest, want to work, but they are not recognized as the traditional workers. So they can't get a work in a bank, for example, in the normal scope of things because they do not have the basic requirements that the private sector and, well, standards put on them. So they often have to settle for low paying jobs, but is working extremely hard. So that whole situation is being looked at. This is why, for example, the YB program seeks to target that. One of the things that I raised with the ambassador, US ambassador to Barbados, OECS, is that the number one problem in the Caribbean today is our young people who are unskilled and unemployed.
Yes.
So employment. So whenever we are looking at programs and targeting how do governments, or how should governments respond from a policy standpoint, what we need to really look at is how do we provide jobs for the young men who are on the block, frustrated, unemployable, and needs to be earning an income. So that's one of the difference that we are doing. I can safely say to you that we just completed the Empower 3.0. We are going to be launching a new component of the Empower, which is going to target young women who are on the block as well. Because the question of the gender balance is a very serious observation. We take it very clear that the Empower program must specifically focus on men, because men, to a large extent, are more at risk than women, especially when it comes to employment and education. And as such, you do not want to limit and mix the genders. I think that was discussed at one of our retreat, the Department of Youth recently. And we are satisfied that if we're doing that, we need to have a component for women only, young women who are unskilled, unemployed, or unemployable, and get them up to a standard, and young men only who are unskilled, unemployable, get them up to a standard so that they can both, by way of gender, become productive citizens. So that is part of the plan. So we're looking at it from a holistic level, not just saying that we need to just provide training opportunities and jobs, but you're targeting the situation to reduce. And then you're also looking at how we build the mindset of creating your own job so that you can then employ multiple people as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know you're not the Minister of Education, but this is something that correlate with youth, right? We have an educational system where kids are sometimes they reach in Form 4, Form 5, and then they would take CX, whatever CXC they may not pass, get as much passes, or they might even get pregnant. A female young lady might get pregnant in Form 3 or whatever, and then she have to basically end her education right there. Do you think more need to be done to empower that particular group who might fall short of reaching Form 5 and getting the necessary subjects?
Yes, fully agree with it. We currently do not have a clear policy on the matter, and I'll tell you why I say that. Because as a government minister, it will be difficult for me to just simply say, yes, and we should do X, Y, and Z. I think there is a clear policy that pregnancy is not something you want to encourage while going to school.
Right.
That has its people. That's one. Two, we need to be concerned that should it happen,
right?
Because given the realities that we are living in, it does. Should it happen, how do we as a society treat with it? And the whole question of second chances, this is something we campaigned upon. So we are actually preparing the structures for that, to say that even if you did not complete your studies as at secondary school, etc., for whatever reason, whether pregnancy, you dropping out, etc., there should be an opportunity for you still later on down the road. This is why adult literacy and education is something that we're introducing at TAMCC. So as mentioned during the budget, the process is well on its way by the Ministry of Education to upgrade TAMCC and get it to the level to which it ought to be, so that it can take care to a large extent of those young people who have fallen out of the secondary school education system.
So the format now is if a young lady were to get pregnant, say in Form 3 or whatever, although we're not encouraging it, but as I say, it happens. What happens to her then in the current construct?
So in the current construct, there is PAM. I can't confirm whether or not PAM is functioning at full capacity. I remember that there were some issues there. And as the incoming government, we did see some structural issues at the building site itself. So I can't confirm. I think it falls under the Ministry of Social Development. I could get that. But definitely, the need to beef up the capacity there.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that we need to turn out more pregnant school children, but what we are saying is that should it happen, how do we treat with it? What is the corrective measures that could be applied to the young person so that they can then still pursue their education and they and their offspring is not sent down a road of continued poverty as a result of not completing their education. So continuous education and second chances is something big on the government's agenda by way of education. I would certainly look forward to young women themselves explaining what the experience has been thus far, so that when decisions are made at a policy level, it is made on the basis of the actual information and evidence and data, and not just on our emotion or, just our thought.
Right. Helen David Charles is saying more sexual education and counseling in schools, please. So we have less pregnancy as a correlation. That makes sense. Having that there as a prophylactic point of view in that.
Yeah, definitely. So a two-pronged approach, so that you target the younger ones, their mindset, and then at the same time you deal with the fallout when it does occur, so that you prevent them from going into a state of poverty.
All right, good. All right, cool. Let's move on to sports. Right, we just saw the intercall games, very excited games.
Yeah.
I had to say it was probably one of the best intercall game that I got a chance to witness.
I think 2016 was the best intercall games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What has been done in the Ministry of Sports to get or harness or develop the next, say, Karani James?
Yes.
The next Anderson Peters. What has been done?
Right. Well, before I answer what is being done, I have to say what we have done so far is to establish the policy. We have two policies, which is the National Policy on Sports and Physical Activity that is being rolled out. We are looking at completing the renovations for each of the parish groups offices. Mm-hmm. So that is going well. We are looking to employ the secretaries, etc. That process again is ongoing and should be completed before the year is up. We are also keen on promoting Grenada as a premium sports tourism destination in the Caribbean. And what that means is that we are going to take a new look and approach to sports, which is going to say that we are collaborating with sectors and finding niches where we can exploit the talents of the athletes, but at the same time take the opportunity to upgrade our facilities and promote that as a tourism product in addition to what we already have in terms of the pristine beaches, etc., etc. So it's a very clear and deliberate strategy. It has been around for a number of years, and we want to implement it fully as to how we go about. This is why we see government's role as investing in our grassroots community and schools programs. We have started that process and it is going well. In fact, this is the first time that the government of Grenada has given so much through the NLA to a number of sporting events. And I can tell you there's still a large portion of them that did not receive any support as yet from the government, but it's because resources, in fact, is scarce for us to be able to just do that. We have given to Carifta, we have given to Intercall, we have given to almost all the sporting events that took place. And we are pleased to be partnering with the private sector to make that a reality. So far it's going pretty okay. We are seeing a very large expansion now as sports have returned in full swing. Of course, paying the dock salaries to the principals guaranteed that we are going to see the organization of a lot of sporting activities. So that has gone well.
Yeah, and again, back to the intercall games, I think it was world standard from the broadcast to, I mean, of course, people was criticizing the pay-per-view, but I think it was a good initiative because, of course, it all goes
Yes.
back into the Principal Association.
Yeah. Well, they organized that. The ministry had absolutely nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it definitely trickles down. So we could possibly see more Karani James within the next couple years from all the input and investment in
Yes.
sports.
Yes, and I think um, what we need to establish is how we, when we get these athletes who are doing well,
Hmm.
how do we as a nation invest in their continued development and they do not fall by the wayside? I can think, for example, of our athlete, Rondell Bartholomew, who
Yes.
is struggling, in my view, to even get an audience as it stands now with Grenadians. He has certainly reached out to me, and we are keen to some way meet him or have him return to Grenada so
Hmm.
that we can discuss the potential for assistance. This is something that we are very much concerned with. And I want to raise this point because too often politicians get sucked into the trap to make promises that we do not eventually keep. We have a situation which we have inherited where from coaches to athletes where promises were made
Hmm.
but no preparation and accommodations were made to fulfill those promises. So we often just mouth open, word jump out.
Right.
So once they do something, you just shout out that we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But no clear policy was existing. Today, we now have that policy, and it's called the incentive policy under the national policy on sports and physical activity. So it's going to define how much for what event when they are successful and what the athletes are entitled to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about the character games?
Yeah.
What could we expect? I know there was some announcement. There was a event today. What are what's the expectation, and how many athletes do we have from Grenada that will be taking part in the
Yeah.
character?
I can't recall the exact number right now of athletes, but a large portion of them, including a big contingent of swimmers as well. So the swimmers are going to be in Curacao, and the athletics and track and field is going to be in Bahamas.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, so government through the NLA again assisted in the transport, and in some instances for swimming, for example, the accommodation and transport to the air transport to get our athletes and their teams, coaching staff, etc., safely there and safely return.
Nice, nice. Someone wanted to know, Junior, we need to know about netball competition coming to different netball competition coming from different islands into Grenada to play. Are there any plans for that?
Well, we have the Windward Island Games coming up. That is going to be in July. We also have the Whitsuntide Games as well. That is going to be soon as well. So it's within the season. Netball is going to be featured in the Windward Island Games. I think the issue is that we've inherited a number of dilapidated facilities, and therefore we need to do the necessary upgrades, but it's always a question of priority when dealing with scarce resources economically. So the resources of the state are not unlimited, and therefore we will have to always give healthcare more, etc., etc. And in fact, government did prioritize healthcare in this budget cycle, but I'm certain that when we get to the point of prioritizing sports, you're certainly going to see a proliferation of upgrades and serious maintenance to our sporting facilities.
Yeah,
But for
because
now, we're doing the basic.
we heard about, with the cricket,
Yeah,
right? The lighting of the stadium to facilitate
yes,
night cricket. What's
yes.
the status on that?
So I can safely say that we have completed all the preliminary works as it relates to that. We inherited a situation where nothing was seriously done to light the cricket stadium, despite all the talk and promise of it. And we do know of instances of things that we will discuss at a later time. But I can say that we have completed all preliminary work necessary, and we'll be working on this in short order. I wouldn't want to give a date to it, but a lot of work went into it, and we're getting ready to do it formally and announce it.
Right. So we could be seeing that in short order. 2024 Carifta in Grenada.
Yes.
I heard that announcement.
That's the plan. So we are hoping that we are successful with the bid at Bahamas for this Carifta. Right. And once that is done, we are confident that we are going to be hosting Carifta at the 50th. We're going to be celebrating 50 years of independence as well. So it will be a significant Carifta in our view. Bahamas is also celebrating 50 years or 49. I can double check. I stand to be corrected. But it's a significant milestone for them as well to host Carifta this year. So next year, Grenada is looking forward to it and fulfilling our mandate as a premium sports tourism destination.
Right. And of course, I think earlier in the campaign, during the season, shortly after the election, there was a statement that was made upgrading the stadium.
Yes.
They have some dilapidated roof and other facilities there, that other parts of the stadium that have been broken down or falling apart. What is the current status in getting those upgraded or fixed?
Right, and that's from the Chinese you're referring to, the assistance by the People's Republic of China. Yeah. Yes. Right. So that is we have since signed all what we need to sign on our end. The review process did occur with the Chinese to look at now what the situation is, and they will be starting, we were told, sometime in the first half of next year to commence. It will take a period of 12 months, and by 12 months, we expect the work to be done professionally, as always. And what we expect out of that is going to be our own people will get access to the training or access to observing the work that is going on, so that when it comes to maintenance, our people locally can do so, and we do not have to consistently depend on outside assistance just to do a simple thing of maintaining. So maintenance from the steel structure, in terms of what is being built, the elevators, having it in English this time, not in Mandarin. And it's not a derogatory statement, but it's just to say that the majority of our tradesmen cannot read Mandarin, and therefore it will pose a problem for them to do maintenance or when they have to do repairs.
What about low-hanging fruits, like painting of the stadium? Like the stadium?
Yeah. So all of that will be done, but it would not be done now simply because the work that has to be done as it relates to the upgrade or the repairs at the National Stadium by the People's Republic of China is going to be exclusively done by the People's Republic of China.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. All right, guys. Again, we opening up the phone line, guys. We open up the phone line. If you have any questions, feel free to call us in right now. The number is 718-701-5720. As we slowly move on to another area of responsibility, culture. Yes. I'm passionate about culture, very passionate about culture. So let me brace for this one. Now, Spice Mass is around the corner. And I'm very excited about Spice Mass this year. I'm seeing some amazing things happening thus far, early planning, and there's a launch coming up in Grenada. There's a launch coming up in New York. There's a lot happening. What is new? What's going to be new for Spice Mass 2023?
Yeah, well, I think we have a lot of new energy. We have new people, certainly, but we have a lot of new energy out there as it relates to Spice Mass and what it is that we are going to roll out. One such example I can give is the question of Queens and their package, when they are successful, is going to include a scholarship for them to continue and pursue studies, so that they are not just Queen one day and something else a different day, but they will have the opportunity to go further and beyond after getting such an experience.
Yeah. You know, I have always said, right, and I would continue to say that when we think about culture, I think it's kind of put in a box where we're only thinking about culture as calypso or groovy or just that part of the culture. But there's so much more that could be cultured. Like, for instance, filmmaking, right?
Yes.
Because I always say, if you could write a soca, you could write a film.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What has
Yeah.
been done to enhance not just the ability of just the traditional calypso soca, but the other
Mhm.
creative arts, other creative aspects, book,
Mhm.
and all of this other literature that could be formed from a creative person? What has been done to harness these type of energies as a part of culture?
Right. Yeah. So one of the things that we have done so far is to through the NTA and ORO, for example, is to organize a pilot
Uh-huh.
where we would be training some Grenadians
Hmm.
to participate in the process of costume making, wire bending, etc., which
Yes.
is going to help unleash not just the singing creativity, but the creativity for costume making and design, for example. We are also looking at partnering with the brothers, Lunispark and Electrify, to
Hmm.
see how we can engage in the development process of how our youngest artists among us are writing their songs, their tunes, listening to music, learning it at a very tender age. Taking, for example, what's their name? Nati and Thunder.
Yeah.
At a young age, one of them was actually singing. I saw a video Mikey Hutchinson posted. And so it gives us an opportunity at the tender age to engage in the developmental process that is required to build the
Right.
necessary capacity for what we need to do in the creative industry. So we're also launching a creatives desk that has been set up and it has been launched. We have Mr. Orlando Romain, advisor to the government and now ambassador
Hmm.
to the government, who is the brainchild behind such an initiative. And we're really looking to see how we can exploit the creative industry. We've placed it under the Ministry of Economic Development
Right.
to make it into not just a culture and by the way something, but to have it as a revenue generator for young
Yes.
people. So we're looking at it in a very holistic manner as well.
Yeah, because as you rightfully said, and I am going to do a program on that with some of the creatives from Grenada.
Yes.
Monetization is something that has, like, it's not a topic. They don't teach it, they don't talk about it. The question of how do you take content and put content, make it available and
Mm.
earn a revenue?
Mm.
Like Papi, there is this vlog, this comedian,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Papi. He has what 100,000 views on YouTube, and he created this content, and he makes a revenue. He probably makes 3 or 4 times the salary of an average person, and all he does is he makes video. I think
Yeah.
that the culture, and of course, as you said, the creative arts should really use what's that sector, or whatever aspect of
Mhm.
government could be used to get people understanding the time or what could be put into use to
Mhm.
actually make money on social
Yeah.
media. It's
Yes.
a big market.
Yes, yes, it is, Junior, and you're absolutely correct. I think the mindset again, it goes back to the mindset. We are always taught that if somebody says, "Mommy, I want to be a fashion designer,"
Hmm.
man, go to school and go and get a real job. That traditionally has been the response, but
Yes.
not taking into consideration that these are actually jobs that are being performed on a world market with high pay associated with it, and you can actually earn a serious living if
Yes.
you do the best that you can do. And again, your market is not only in Grenada with the creative industry, you actually could tap in globally.
Yes.
So it is limitless in terms of the potential amount of customers that you can have. So seeing it in that light and understanding it from that perspective is where we want to take culture and the creative arts, not just from a blanket standpoint to say the usual, sing a song, go on a stage, tell the crowd move, wave your flag, but taking it into a level and standard where we can actually generate resources. And, and,
Absolutely.
and monetizing also requires us to patent and copyright some of the production by Grenadians. So
Yes.
that's the manner in which we are going and taking it to the next step. Again, the 100% concession on creative equipment, etc., is a facility that is now afforded to creatives throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, and they can take advantage of that opportunity so that they can increase their capacity as they continue to produce content for people to consume, whether locally or abroad, as mentioned.
Absolutely, absolutely. I listen. I just feel honored that that is an initiative. That's a thought,
Mhm.
right? Because even if you look at from a personal perspective, this platform survive off of the same thing. We do vlogs, we do videos, it's content. At the end of the day, it's just content. And we are
Yeah,
looking at a particular market. We're looking at a global market. And there's so many opportunities there. So I really, really would like to see even more done to
yeah,
bring in creators that are already doing it and are already
yes.
smashing it big time to advise others on how they could use this skill that they have. And it
Mhm.
doesn't even take a lot of equipment. You could do it with your own phone. It's
Mhm.
just the will. Just the
True.
will.
Just the will, just the will. So, I mean, understanding all of that and taking it from the perspective that the role of the government in this instance is not to mandate what should be done.
Right.
It's to create the avenue and the enabling environment as to how the content creators and the creatives throughout Grenada will be able to, first and foremost, create their content with ease and also distribute to own something back on it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that I again, I like when the announcement was made that the subsidies on those equipment that's coming in, right?
Yes.
The concessions that's coming in
Yes.
for content creators. I think that's a big plus. And I would give free advice if anybody looking for advice. I was in St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School a few months ago, and I
Mhm.
was advising the kids, some of the kids that I spoke to, get involved in content creation. Get
Yeah.
involved with your, get your cameras out, just put out content, create a YouTube channel. You
Mhm.
know, other than just being on Facebook and just talking back and
Yeah.
TikTok, you could actually
Yeah.
make money doing it. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that the government is creating an enabling environment to do that. So we spoke about youth, sports, and culture. Let's talk about, well, we spoke about carnival and the
Mhm.
big launch happening. How is preparation coming for the launch and of course Carnival 2023?
Preparations are going well. I think the board is very sound in terms of what they are doing under the leadership of Mr. Kurt Ross. I think, all in all, we are keen on ensuring that at the end of the day, all these cultural facilities and boards all over the place, we bring them under one body, so to
Yeah.
speak, so that we can have a better management system around cultural festivities, etc. And something as simple as not planning cultural events that are in conflict with other major cultural events, whether at Karakou or locally here.
Mhm.
That is something that we are very keen to change, certainly by next year, and to not have it as a problem. I think, by and large, carnival preparation is going well. I believe that we are at a juncture where we can confidently say that the team understands fully what their roles are and how we are going to go about the process of Carnival. The new CEO is very, very cool headed and is a man that has been around the culture and carnival steel pan in particular, and understands the environment that he's dealing with and is keen just to work. I can say to you that we already had a donation of a crown for Groovy Monarch, I believe. That's by a Grenadian. Apparently, she purchased it for something, it couldn't fit what she wanted, and rather than throwing it away or getting rid of it, she felt the need to donate it to the Spice Mass Corporation. So that is going well. Cultural Foundation, again, the board is up and running. New CEO has been appointed, and we should be making the announcement soon as to who that person will be. But all in all, we are confident that the necessary structure that is required to really have our cultural festivities and activities take off is taking shape and is there. And we are looking forward to a bumper Spice Mass 2023.
JetBlue announced additional flights, and that that's
Yes,
very
that is going
exciting.
to help a great deal.
Yes,
Um, This is something too that we need to expand upon, and not just JetBlue, but other facilities, whether cruise ships or other airlines. We need to
Yes.
get them to come here during Spice Mass so that the people can, participate and be able to spend the monies. We need to see shows being sold out. We need to ensure that the gate receipts, the ticket sales, they are up. That the revenue that Spice Mass is collecting is big, and it's not only depending on central government to fund its activities, but central government can then take the resources and place it into the developmental aspects of our cultural activities, whether it is training for artists in terms of songwriting, music, writing, etc. But we need to invest in our artists. I'll tell you the problem that we have discovered is that we are marketing a product that we have absolutely no control over. The artists are the ones writing their songs, they have their studios, etc., and they're doing their own thing, they're producers and so on. But as a state, we are not having a direct stake in terms of developing the product that we are marketing every year. So that is something that we observe and we are willing to change.
Yeah, yeah. And are we possibly looking to see an increase in prize monies this year?
I would want the board to reply to it, but yes, Junior, we are looking towards that, but I want the board to reply to it.
Right. Listen, I've been speaking to artists. Black Adan just released a song.
Yes, I saw that.
We're seeing songs starting to release, things start to pick up. And I got word from New York, boom, right there. New York launch of Spice Mass, which I think, or the diaspora launch happening here in New York. This, I think, one of the biggest piece of news I've heard so far, because a chunk of the people who go down for Carnival right here in New York, and this is going to jumpstart, going to get them agitated about booking to come down to Grenada.
Yeah.
Boss move right there.
Yeah. Well, I will be there, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to confirm that you would be in New York to be a part of this massive event on May 7th. It would be great. And I just got a call from a team here. They have so many things lined up for you. Of course, I heard that you'll be meeting with some Grenadians here as well in a place called Cole Park here in Brooklyn. So it's going to be a nice event to get to meet the minister, talk to the minister as well in New York. So that'll be a great venture.
Definitely.
Now let's talk about your constituency. We talk about sports culture. It's important, your constituency.
Yes.
I heard some reports, right? I'll tell you as it is. Some calls. People are saying they need to see Mr. Redhead a little bit more. People in Willis are saying this. And I saw your engagement at your town hall meeting. Yes, right. And I know you have a lot juggling. How do you juggle all of these with sports culture and youth, and then having time to be a part of your community? Does it take a toll on one of them get more love or more of you than the other?
Yes, naturally so. But by the grace of God, I continue to make it. So it is true that to not a large extent, but to the constituents' liking, and certainly what they experienced during the election, that they would like to see me more often. But if you see me more, that means I'm doing my work at the ministry.
Right. So
it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act.
Yes.
And I'm trying to work with residents. We are in the constituency every Thursday. Thursdays. We do have the constituency office located at Mongay. If you do have concerns, you can certainly call the office. I can get the number before we end here the program, but you can call there. I am scheduled to attend third night now, so it's a resident of Vendom.
Yes.
But as you see, I'm here with you, Junior, trying to report to the people on some of the initiatives of the government as well. And so really, again, it's a balancing act.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that. There are so many things that you could do, but it's good that you take the time. And that's why I applaud you. You took the time to come and sit here with us for the hour to answer some of these questions of the things that's happening in youth, sports, and culture and in your constituency. Anything else you want to leave it? Because I know you have to run.
Yeah. Well, just to say that I think that as government, I must really shout out to the Honorable Prime Minister. I mean, here was a man that many people said for years did not participate in politics, but was able to really hit the ground running and has won, by and large, the admiration of the majority of Grenadians on his performance thus far, not just as Prime Minister, but as a leader. So he's not operating as a boss and cussing off people and dictating what should be done, etc. But he is leading by example, right? He's always the first to be there. If you say that you have to reach for 3 o'clock, etc., he makes the sacrifice to do that, and he leads by example. And I really want to big him up today in particular. I know that there are a number of propaganda and attacks on various ministers of government, and in particular our prime minister. But generally, I must tell you that his leadership is the cornerstone of where Grenada is going to be. And he is proven to be an excellent leader in and behind closed doors and outside as well. So I want to just big him up in a serious way and say kudos to our Prime Minister. I think he has done a fantastic job just thus far. And once he continues on his track, he is going to lead Grenada to where it needs to be. And as ministers, we are playing our part to support his government's initiatives and policy decisions. But it's going pretty well thus far, and we're looking to see how we can continue to expand. So I will be, Junior, before I leave, also distributing some support to the Dorothy Hopkins Home on Thursday. And I would also be in the constituency visiting some additional road projects, ensuring that they are completed on time and of the best quality that Northeast can provide.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I know the folks in New York and the diaspora is looking forward to see you on the 7th.
Yes, 7th of May.
7th of May. Thank you so much, Minister. And we
You're
appreciate you and all that you're doing.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right.
All right. One love.
All right. Yes, guys. Let's take a quick break, guys. Let's take a quick break and we're going to sum it up. You're watching Ridealong Live. Don't move. We'll be right back.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sandy Manite.
Yes. That was Honorable Ron Redhead, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, giving us some update as to what he's doing, all the things that he's doing in his ministry and also in his constituency. Guys, I made a call. I put out a call last week, right? And I'm serious about it. I think that we have to have a balancing act. We have to play this balancing act right here. So I want to reach out to the opposition side. There may be things that need to be ventilated on our airwave. I am opening up the opportunity to have a day or so where we could talk about some of the agenda items, some of the things that's interesting to talk about as it relates to the opposition, the NNP. I am putting that call out here again to please contact me. Whichever minister or whichever MP or anyone a part of the party that would like to come on, we want to open up the platform to hear from you. Again, we have an appeal going out there, all right? So I'm going to make that appeal for the second time. We want to hear the views because ideas, there's no monopoly on ideas. There's no monopoly on ideas. And I believe NDC, NNP, GULP, at the end of the day, they're still Grenadians. And all the ideas need to be heard. That's my point of view on it, okay? All right. Again, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling with us on this beautiful Tuesday. I must also say, guys, starting next week from Sunday, I will be in a Caribbean island, surprise Caribbean island every day of next week. All right. So because I'm going to be island hopping, we'll have guest hosts here for 6 p.m., but I'm going to be popping in different Caribbean islands from next week, Monday. I'll even Sunday. Yeah. From Monday all the way through the week, I'll be on a different Caribbean island. So looking forward to see you guys, the folks in St. Lucia, Curacao, Martinique, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, a bunch of Caribbean islands. I'll be there, and I'm looking forward to see you guys. Okay? All right. Let's knock a glass. Let's knock a glass. Okay? Again, guys, we appreciate you. Get ready for our Jab in Color. This is our Carnival Juve band. Amazing Colors, Jab in Color. We have various packages that's available. Various packages. This is like, guys, this is like, you know, you go into your Monday night, you go into your package and you pick up, you go into your mass band and you pick up your package. You could get your jab package just the same way. You have your top, we have sassy jab, we have sexy jab, and we have jab we say. Let me show you the jab we say package. Is a t-shirt package. So you get your package for Monday night for Juve. I will talk about Monday night mass just now for Juve, right? Unlimited drinks, jab breakfast, real fun, real vibes. You get all these things here inside of your package. All right. If you want to get more sexy than that, we have a sexy jab. Yeah, sexy jab. There you go. Sexy jab. All of these packages are available right now at rideby.com. These packages are available right now at rideby.com. Link on there and check it out. New York getting ready for the big Spice Mass launch, and that's going to be on May 7th. May 7th, right here in Brooklyn, New York. Little Natty and Thunder, Vaughn, Skinny Banton, Specky, Zingo, Dash. Man, just too much artists to honor. You see them on the flyer there. Just artists galore. But not only artists. We have bands, we have Veco, we have Shatney, we have Jab. All here in New York, guys. So get yourself ready. Tickets are $50 right now. It's available. I put all the information of contact where you could purchase your ticket in the description. Okay? And we're getting ready for Monday Night Mass and Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors. This year, guys, our theme is liberation. Amazing Colors, liberation. So it's Afrocentric. All right? So look out for our full packages for Monday Night Mass coming soon. But no, it's all about liberation. The journey of a people. It's going to be amazing. Amazing Colors, Monday Night Mass. Packages on sale soon. Anik, yeah, you need the sexy jab? You need a sexy jab package? Yeah. Let me tell you guys about the sexy jab package now. The sexy jab package is very, very limited. The sexy jab package is very, very limited. So if you want to be in the sexy jab, you gotta get your package tonight. Yeah, you gotta get your package tonight. Because it's very, very, very limited. Okay? Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors. Juve with Amazing Colors. Jab. And the best part about it, guys, is your jab breakfast. Jab breakfast. All you know is the jab breakfast? Who know what is jab breakfast? Who know what is the jab breakfast? Jab breakfast will be served. It'll be real nice. That's what else I got to tell you guys about. So, Grenada launch, Spice Mass launch in Grenada, and that goes down on the 28th of April. 28th of April. That's in Spice Country. The Evolution, Spice Mass 2023, the Evolution. Tons of artists going to be in the house, display, carnival costume presentation, and I'll also be in Grenada for the Spice Mass launch. All right, so we talk about the Juve. Yeah, we talk about sexy jab. Yeah, cocoa tea, bacon, saltfish. That is jab breakfast. We say cocoa tea, bacon, saltfish. Cocoa tea, bacon, saltfish. Somebody say fig, saltfish, and oil. Saltfish and dumpling. Okay. Guys, we'll be right back.
Established in 1998, Ross Road and Funeral Services continues to assist you plan the ideal funeral or memorial service locally or internationally. Our reputation is built on providing personalized funeral services based on love and compassion. Call Ross Road and Funeral Services at 718-547-0640.
Ross Road and Funeral Services, where your loved one is our loved one.
Yes, guys. So again, don't forget the big Spice Mass launch happening here in New York City. You guys want to get your tickets right now. I'm going to put all the contact information where you can get your tickets. And I do believe that they say tickets are limited. The place could only hold like about, 1,000 people or so. I think about half of that ticket unsold out already. All right. The minister is going to be up here. Tons of artists. It's going to be a real spectacle. They got to be a part of the Spice Mass launch here in NYC.
Carpentry and Cleaning Service Inc., providing exceptional carpet and cleaning, floor installation, refinishing, home renovations, drywall, painting, plastering, doors and moldings, electrical and plumbing, and much more. We are a one-stop shop for all your professional needs. Give us a call today on 718-221-5572. That is 718-221-5572. Or you can call our cell on 917-939-3192. Check out our sales on all services. We're located at 218 Schenectady Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Phillips Carpentry and Cleaning Service Inc.
Grenadian products are now only a mouse click away at GrenadaMarket.com. Nutmeg and guava jams, jellies and the syrups, world famous nutmeg pain relief spray, black sage, soursop, lemongrass, and bois bande bar. Ordering is simple and friendly. All major credit cards accepted. Safe, secure shopping guaranteed. GrenadaMarket.com ships your product anywhere in the world. So when you can't go to the island, the products off the island can be sent to you. Just log on to www.grenadamarket.com and experience our quick delivery and homely service.